Hey everybody! The e-bike company Windone offered to send me their Windone E2 e-bike to review and upgrade. So, of course I said yes. It looks like the post service already started doing the unboxing for me. Inside the box was the bike, the headlight, the front fender, the front axle, the battery, the keys, the shock bolt, the front wheel and tire, the user's manual, a 48-volt 2-amp charger, the pedals, a bunch of tools, a bell, and a bike pump. Now, I have my doubts on this bike pump because it feels super flimsy and this hose is already cross-threaded on. So, we'll see how that works. Also, the rear tail light was broken off, but it shouldn't really be a big deal to zip tie it on. The tail light was easy to fix. I just drilled a hole here and zip tied it on, and I did the same on the other side, and now it's super sturdy. When assembling something like this, make sure you use blue thread locker on all the bolts to make sure that they don't come out. As far as the assembly went, it was super easy and all the tools were included. While I was assembling the bikes, I realized that the left lever was the front brake and the right lever was the rear brake, which is the opposite of all my other bikes, so I decided I'm going to switch them around later. I just swapped the brakes around and it was actually pretty easy. All you have to do is get these rubber pieces out of the way and then loosen both brake lines and swap them, and now the left's the rear and the right's the front, just how I like it. I have to take back what I said earlier about this pump. It actually works totally fine. The bike does come with a pair of keys, but their only purpose is to unlock the battery. Speaking of the battery, it has a little indicator here so you can see the charge. It's my first ride on the Windone E2 e-bike, and the first thing I notice is the suspension. It's actually pretty good. The second thing I notice is the kickstand right here. If you take a look at my foot, it just instantly hits it when I'm trying to pedal. And that is pretty annoying, and I feel like they should have tested that more. Because if you look, like, you don't have to have that big of a foot for it to hit it right there. So that's just a kind of a fail. I gotta try the hill climb. Yep, that's not doing it. I'll try through some snow. It's probably 2 inches. It's getting along. Yeah, it's plowing straight through it. I'm gonna test the brakes on this hill. Yep, they're good. This bike does have some other good features, such as when you turn the headlight on, the display dims slightly, which is a great feature because on my Stealth Bomber, it does not do this, and if you're riding at night, you gotta turn the brightness down, and then the next day in the morning, you're riding at day, you have to turn it back up, and that's just really annoying. There's also a push mode. If you hold the negative button for a few seconds, it starts driving really slow, which will help you if you're like in some situation where you can't hit the throttle but you need the power. You can also turn on cruise control by holding the negative button for 3 seconds. Time for the top speed run. This bike will only go 20 miles an hour with just the throttle, but if you pedal, it'll go up to 28 miles an hour. So there's about 20 mile an hour, and I'll start pedaling. So I'm not actually giving any energy to the bike right now if I'm pedaling, because I'm in a really low gear. So you can see it limits the motor when you're not pedaling, you're like moving your legs. I think where this bike really shines is on trails, since it has great suspension and it doesn't really have enough power to zoom around on the street. One thing I don't like about this bike is it has this half twist throttle here. And normally on these, the part that moves is like bigger diameter, so you can grab on just that and twist it. But when I'm doing this trail, I'm trying to like hit the throttle a bunch, and I'm grabbing here, and it just has a bunch of friction. So I have to like readjust my hand a bunch, and that's just really annoying. One thing I also don't like is how tall the back of this bike is. It feels like I'm leaning forward and I'm about to fly over the handlebars. There is a spot where I thought you could adjust the rear shock, but it wouldn't fit, so I might end up cutting that piece off to make it fit. A little burnout on the bridge. Yeah, this bike is definitely fun, but it just feels like I'm gonna fly over the handlebars because I'm just leaning too far forward. I feel like I could do that all day and it wouldn't break. It feels super robust. In conclusion, I think this bike definitely is better than the average 750 watt 20 by 4-inch tire fat bike. It could definitely handle more of the stuff I would want to do, like riding off road and doing little jumps and stuff. With that being said, though, I definitely want to change a few little things on it, and then, of course, upgrade it with a huge motor and battery and controller to make it super fast. So, if you want to see that, stay tuned for the next video. Thanks again, Windone, for sending me this bike. If you want to buy one for yourself, all the links are in the description. Before I end this video, I might as well show you the upgrades I'm going to be doing to this bike. The first thing is, I already fixed the rear being so high by modifying the suspension. Now, because I have this other bike I'm working on, I have a QS205 and a 8600 watt far driver just laying around. So I put the QS205 on the back, and it fits perfectly. I won't even need any torque arms. And the controller, it fits totally perfectly right here, if you imagine it like in there. So I cannot wait to build this bike. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching.